Voila Aquaba, welcome back to the AFCON Preview Show with me, Sidibe, right here in Abidjan. I have two gentlemen in the house, Tunde, Eludini for the Premium Times, and Chris of the making of champions. They are right here to look at the game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Bafana of South Africa. Another big cracker awaits this special tournament that has produced so many incredible moments already, and we are looking forward to Wednesday. So I'm happy to welcome back Tony Eludini. This is not his first time. He's been on the show. Tunde, good morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me once more. I think we are getting to the business end of the tournament, and the excitement is growing. The volume is pumping louder, and yes, we can say Super Eagles all the way.
So I also have Chris. Chris, you've been exploding on Twitter. On X, call it X.
Oh wow, I'm happy to join you on this show. This is my first time on it. I watched the one Tunde was on the last time and I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping we can recreate something much better.
So you are making your debut.
What did you say?
You are making your debut on the show.
Yes. This is my debut and I hope I score a hat-trick.
Yeah, definitely. So let's look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria. How impressive have they been so far in the tournament? From the group stages, they are yet to lose a game, and they are in the semi-finals. One win away from the finals.
Well, depending on what metric you're using to judge and what you're watching, I feel like they've been very impressive. It's important for a team not to concede a goal, and they've been adhering to Peseiro's principle of not conceding and making sure they score at least one. They've been low scoring, but the most important thing is that Nigeria is in the semi-finals. They're going to take on South Africa, and as long as we don't concede against South Africa, we are good to go, and I think we can make the final.
So, Tunde, would you say going into a game expecting not to concede, do you think it's sustainable?
Well, I think it's sustainable, but for this kind of tournament, like Chris said, once you don't concede and you can get at least a goal, then you're sure of victory. But against a South African side, I look at their run to this final, to this semi-final. I mean, they've not been too. Yes, they've scored the goals, but there are no well-known prolific strikers in the team. And when I say prolific strikers, I mean strikers in the mode of Osimhen.
Who has not been prolific in this tournament?
Well, it depends on what you want from him. What people don't know is that Osimhen might not be scoring the goals, but his presence and his contribution to the team is helping us a long way. By the time Osimhen has 2-3 defenders to him, he frees the other strikers and they are able to get the job done. I think that for me is more important than him personal glory. And so back to the fact that you're asking if Nigeria can actually go into this game without conceding. I don't think it's impossible. If we can do it against Cote d'Ivoire, look at Angola, for example. We see that they came into that match as one of the most potent strike force. But against Nigeria, they were caged. And yes, they had some chances that they could have scored, but were able to nip them in the bud. So against South Africa, yes, it might not be 100% sure that we'll keep another clean sheet, but it's not impossible for me.
So, Chris, what are the chances for the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
Well, I think we have a very good chance against South Africa. By the way, they are also about the only team with Nigeria that they have kept 4 clean sheets. So they have a good defense as well. So we have to be very potent, very lethal in attack. We have to make sure we don't take this game into extra time, because what happened against Cape Verde is a pointer of what could happen if we take it to penalties. I've also read reports that Stanley Nwabali is very good in penalty shooters, but I don't want us to go through the heart attack of thinking that we can win them in penalties. It's a lottery, all right, but I think we should try to do the job in 90 minutes.
So for the Super Eagles now against this particular opponent, Tunde, what do you think they need to do against South Africa to actually get the win because we know it's going to be difficult. They are not the team that we want to come out and play, and Nigeria is also not the team that wants to attack. They would rather prefer the opponent to have the ball and they get them on the counter. So, how do you think Nigeria will approach this?
Well, for me, I think they just have to be more clinical. One of the drawbacks for this particular team is our conversion rate. We tend to create the score line, the final score line doesn't reflect the kind of chances we create in games. So I think one thing that the Nigerian team has to do rightly in this game is to be more clinical. Chances that come your way, just bury it. And like the game against Angola, there was a possibility we had scored 2, 3 goals that would have even killed the game earlier than. But for the fact that it was just 1 goal, Angola came pushing and they almost even got an equalizer. So for the game against South Africa, I think we just have to be more clinical and make sure that we convert the goals. And in the back line, of course, concentration is key. So the South Africans, yes, they may not have the big names, but they have people that can punish any mistakes by the Nigerian defense. We saw that almost happen in the game against Angola also. Any lapse in concentration can lead to a goal. And I know the South Africans can also defend. So if they catch us ahead and get a goal, they have a goal advantage. I don't think it will be impossible for them to also mount a roadblock and try to block any advances by the Super Eagles.
Now let me still stick to you, Tunde. Do you think if eventually, if the South Africans are ahead in the game, do you think Nigeria has what it takes, to claw back into the game? We saw that in the opening fixture against Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea, I beg your pardon, when they conceded, they scored immediately after conceding. Do you think if eventually South Africa are ahead, do you think Nigeria has what it takes to break them down, considering how defensively solid they've been throughout the tournament?
Yeah, I think it puts us in a difficult situation. Yes, it's not impossible for us to claw back if South Africa goes ahead, but I think it puts more pressure on the team. Now they may have to come out of their shells and be chasing a goal, and in the process of chasing an equalizer, they might even be caught again napping and another goal score, and that might even be more disastrous. So I think the Super Eagles just need to be as careful as possible and should not put themselves in a difficult situation. Yes, I know they can claw their way back, but it makes the game even more difficult if they have to come from behind against the South African team that is desperate. They have just one title. The last time they got to the semi-final was in the year 2000, like 24 years ago. And so for them to have come this far, I'm sure they will want to give it a push. And if you know the kind of rivalry that obtains between these two countries, then you know that it's a game it's not just any other game. It's going to be a very tensely contested game. I just hope they can just do the Cameroon style, get one goal, add another one, and let everybody go to sleep. Let the Amapiano debut, as some people are already calling it. Let it be a melodious one for Nigeria.
So, Chris, are you surprised at the progress of South Africa in this tournament?
I am not really surprised because, see, that team is comprised of a whole lot from the PSL. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
They are mostly based in South Africa, most of the players. So it's a compact team, and Hugo Broos has done a good job, molding these players into a unit, and they've been very effective, defending very well. I watched the game against Morocco, and despite the fact that Morocco is touted as the best team on the continent at the moment, they held Morocco for a long time, before Morocco got the penalty, which Hakimi missed. So I think South Africa, I've not been surprised with what I've seen. I think they are a well-drilled side. They've been playing very well, and it's difficult to beat a team like that.
So would you say with the progress of South Africa, that does it validate players and the African League? Because majority of the players that are playing are for South Africa. Let's say 95% are based in Africa. They have very few of them in Alakli in Egypt, and mostly all of them are playing in the South African League. Do you see their progress as a validation that the African continent, football in Africa, is developing?
Two of the goalkeepers going into the semi-finals are all playing in South Africa. Our own goalkeeper, Stanley Mabali, and Rondon Williams, they're both playing in the PSL. Is whether that's a validation of the growth and the progress of African leagues, I don't know, but it's testament to the fact that there are very good players who are, playing on the continent. I think they should be given chances. All right, I'm not saying you should hand them a token by saying if there are 25 players, make sure you take one or two players from the league. No, but at least take the best ones. All right. Someone was saying something about a local based player. I've forgotten his name now. Who can? I think Sodiq, who plays for Remo Stars, also.
Ismail Sadiq.
Yeah, that he is good enough to play right back for Nigeria. So I think you should go for the best. That way, you're going to encourage the league. Players are going to want to give their best when they are seeing that players are being caught in the national teams from the league. So it is a validation, if that's the question you asked, if I'm not mistaken, that good players abound in Africa. If South African team, if majority of the players in the South African team are playing in the PSL, it is a validation to the growth of local leagues across the continent.
Okay, Tunde, so that we will not bore those who are watching this. Tunde, would you say, okay, Coach Jose Peseiro, the last contract that he signed with the Nigerian Football Federation had a clause: get Nigeria to the AFCON semi-finals and you've done the job. Would you say this has been a successful tournament for Nigeria and Jose Peseiro?
Yeah.
And does he deserve a new contract?
Well, on the strength of what the contract was clear. But for me, I even think it's a slap if Nigeria feels getting to the semi-final of the AFCON is what they term success. For a country that has the kind of talent that Nigeria has, I think going for the trophy should always be the ultimate. But if a contract says he must get to the semi-final and he has done it, how I say it, pragmatically, yes, it wasn't a function. We can't say the games Nigeria played wasn't. We can't say it was luck that maybe it wasn't luck. It was carefully. It was something that was well worked out and executed. So on that basis, you will say that he knows what he's doing. I think I spoke with someone yesterday and I put this question in a way that should we still retain Peseiro? And for him, what he sees is that if Peseiro has the time to actually stay with the team, it can be impactful. But in other times that we play international games, it's just one day training and everybody goes. So he cannot actually impact them. But in a tournament setting like this, where he has all the time to speak with the players and have them do what he wants them to do, I think we are seeing the results. Based on that, I think we should retain him and give him the right encouragement, the right environment for him to thrive.
So do you think he should be handed a new contract?
Yeah, I think he should, because he has fulfilled his part of the bargain. Even with Nigeria not doing their own part, he's hold salaries, he's been doing so. If he can still weather the storm and get us this far, I think he should. He should. But maybe now you can now put him on his toes and give him maybe higher KPIs, maybe get into the quarterfinal of the World Cup. Well, first qualifying for the World Cup, and then you now can start talking about maybe a quarterfinal target and all that. But I think he hasn't shown. There's no reason right now. 3 months down the line, everybody was shouting, sack him, sack him. But I think right now, on the basis of what we are seeing right now,
3 months or a few weeks ago,
a few weeks, yeah, some weeks down the line,
Really?
It was about sack this man and let us. But based on what we are seeing right now, I don't think we have any thing to hold on to say, okay, this guy should go. That's my take.
okay. Finally, Chris, would you say Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, are the best team in this competition currently with the 4 teams left?
Without mincing words, Nigeria is currently the best team out of the four, or rather, out of the four semi-finalists playing at AFCON 2023 tournament. It's not by fluke that we have the African best player in the team. We have players who are playing in the Premier League. We have, I think the Premier League even tweeted something about Nigerian players who have qualified for the semi-final.
Yeah.
So it justifies that we have the best players. We should, be thinking of winning this trophy. Like Tunde alluded to, we should be talking about winning it. We have the best players. I would have been worried if Morocco, Senegal were still in the semi-finals, but now I think Nigeria has the best team.
So finally, a prediction for the game.
Which of the games? South Africa.
Yeah, the South Africa.
I'm already looking ahead for the final.
We are looking at the final.
Yeah.
There you go.
Prediction for the game is going to be a very tough one, but I think Victor Osimhen is going to come good. And yes, there have been stories about him having stomach bug and not traveling with the team. So my prediction is Nigeria to win 3-1.
Wow. Tunde?
Well, that's a bold prediction. I don't
Very
see
bold.
I don't see this South African team with their defense and their goalkeeper conceding 3 goals in 90 minutes. I don't see that. I think Nigeria is still going to be as prudent as they used to be, score a goal and lock up. So I'm still looking at another potential 1-0 victory for Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Much appreciation to Chris. He's doing well for himself, and as well as Tunde, who is, I think I pretty much enjoyed his coverage of this particular tournament for Premium Time. So thank you, and thank you once again for watching.
Bye.